Okay, so I'm gonna do a not so awesome review on the Superior Spider-Man Volume 1 hardcover edition, uh, which you can actually already get basically everything in this book. You could already get, what is it, Dying Wish and Volume 1 of Superior Spider-Man trade paperback and not get this, but I actually waited to get this edition, so I didn't get Dying Wish hardcover, and I wasn't getting the trades for Superior Spider-Man just because I wanted this version. I don't know if there's gonna be any more hardcovers for Superior Spider-Man after this, but I will hope. We'll see. And yeah, so like I said, this has basically Dying Wish, which is issues 68 through 700, but it doesn't have the 699.1 issue, so that's not actually included in here. But it does have Superior Spider-Man issues 1 through 5, and before I actually talk about the book, I'm just gonna show, because this is probably one of my favorite things about this book, is the fact that they put the cover. Well, they basically put this on here, which was the variant cover for Superior Spider-Man #1 and Superior and Amazing Spider-Man 700 from Midtown Comics, which I think that's cool. I always like it when they put a picture on the actual hard thing. They didn't write the name. So basically, if you lose the dust jacket, you won't know the name. You'll just be looking at these weird fingers here. But it's really cool, and I really want comic book, people, companies to do that more often. No digital download code, so that kinda sucks because they've been doing that with everything lately, and it's kind of weird. It straight out doesn't have one. It would have been cool if it did, but it's not like a deal breaker in any way for getting this. Does use the Marvel AI or AR, and aside from that, at this point, I'm assuming most people already know how issue 700 ends, because it was such a big thing last year. So many people hated it. So many people threatened that Dan Slott, the writer, for it. After rereading it, I mean, when I first read it, I was pretty surprised, but at the same time, I'm one of those people. Okay, first of all, anyone who hasn't read it, you can stop watching in a second. But I will say it's definitely worth reading if you haven't read it. If you know what Superior Spider-Man is about, and you know what's going on there, but you haven't read 700 or the last thing, or if you're seeing Spider-Man, it is definitely good, but I wouldn't recommend starting here, especially if you haven't started with Spider-Man. I would at least go as far back as to Spider Island, maybe a little bit further back, but that said, the rest of this is going to contain plenty of spoilers just because, issue 700 was such a big deal. I'm pretty sure most people have read it, so I'm gonna go from there. Anyways, like I said, it starts with 688, I believe, right? Or 98. Why did I say 88? You can see, has the variant for it on the left right here in the main cover. The little thing here, Spider Dreams and Date Night, which are both, I believe, part of the 700 thing, which are alright. I didn't really like a lot of the bonus things from issue 700, but I mean, if you already read 700, then there's really no point of actually summarizing everything that goes on here, except for the fact that, Doc Ock is dying. It does start off kind of with that. He mutters the words Peter Parker, and then we go to, Spider-Man. And all these events are starting from technically Spider Island, technically a little bit further back, even to Ends of Earth, which I don't remember if it came first or second. I don't remember chronological. I can't say that word, but yeah, it goes through like a typical thing of Spider-Man up until the very end, where we find out that Doc Ock has switched bodies with Spider-Man, and Peter is now in the dying Doc Ock body, and Peter is basically dying in that body. He gets help from supervillains to break out, and there's a battle and blah blah blah. I mean, like I said, we all know how this ends with Peter basically passing on the mantle from him to Doc Ock, who is now Spider-Man, but he's not the greatest Spider-Man, which is where, Superior Spider-Man picks up. A big thing, Carly being the only person kind of knowing what happened, but at the same time, they've made her character like super slow or something because it's like she hasn't figured it out completely in the newer issues of Superior Spider-Man. I don't know. I'm just saying because that's bugging me lately. But issues 1 through 5 of Superior Spider-Man. Well, I guess we could go through 700 here because we do have this where they declared in New York. I believe this is real. I'm not even 100% sure, but I think it actually was real. The mayor of New York made a special holiday for when they found out when Peter Parker's birthday is. So that's cool. And then, yeah, we have a few stories here from the extra 700 issues, which are all right. Like I said, like this one where it's like what I can assume is an older Peter Parker talking to his grandson, which is kind of cool, but kind of weird. I don't know. It was all right. Then there's Date Night, which is Spider-Man and Black Cat going around the city, and that was weird. It was all right. It wasn't great. Here we have a couple of the variants for Superior Spider-Man #1, pictures right here, the main cover, and then like I said, Doc Ock is now Spider-Man, and it goes through the first 5 issues. And to quickly summarize the first 5 issues, they're like, if you've been reading it or if you read it from the beginning or you don't want to spoil it, so you can stop watching now if not, whatever. There is a version of Peter still alive inside his own mind, which everybody is like, it's Ghost Peter basically, and he's watching Doc Ock do all this stuff, and he has really no control for what's going on. It is kind of funny actually, with the stuff with Mary Jane and all these things. Like he's all watching from far. So it does have its funny moments. It did retain some of that. It didn't get, super dark or anything. But Superior Spider-Man, Doc Ock, Spidey, whatever you want to call him, is crazy. He will do more. He'll go further, basically, in his quest to save people, which is what his new thing is. And he's kind of an ass, I'm not gonna lie. And it ends with, kind of something big happening. So I'm not gonna spoil it just in case. But I'll get more into the story in a second. Here's, again, the same cover that's on the outside right here, which is done by Scott Campbell and Edgar Delgado. Alright. Some more variants for 700, and if I could turn the page, that would be awesome. Huh, they don't have the variant I have on here. That's weird. The Christmas variant, that's my favorite variant. I wish I got this, the baby variant. Concept art, some more variants for issues 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then every issue of Amazing Spider-Man cover here in these pages, which I believe was also done in issue 700. But yeah, mainly my thing here is, a lot of people didn't like Amazing Spider-Man's ending. I get it because of what happens. But when you read it all together and you're with the mindset, because, it's Peter Parker. They're not going to, he's not going to stay dead. He will come back at some point, even if Dan Slott's not the one to bring him back. Someone will bring him back. That's how I feel about it. But if you just read that story, it is actually a pretty good story on its own. I mean, I really like it. I do want Amazing Spider-Man to return. I'm having fun with this, Superior Spider-Man. I'm sure it's not going to last forever. But that said, this was definitely a good read. If you haven't read any of Superior Spider-Man and you're kind of like, your hatred towards 700 ended, and you didn't even get Dying Wish hardcover or anything like that, I would say get this, because it's definitely worth it. I like it. And yeah, that's my not so awesome review, because this really was a not so awesome review, because I did not try very hard. That said, if you liked the video, like, subscribe, all that cool stuff, and I will see you next week with, I have no idea, but something, hopefully. Alright then, bye.